Okay, so this is going to be a quick little video on the conversion from grams to milligrams, kilograms, micrograms, or liters are the two measurements that we most commonly would use this method with. And again, this is not going away. You're going to have to master it to get through math because this will follow us all the way through the math module. Hence why I am providing a quick little video for this. So I have our mnemonic up here at the top. Remember, we have a few different ways to go about doing these, and it is up to you to decide which way is comfortable and is going to work best for you. So remember the mnemonic to help you remember this. King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. And then we have two spaces between milli and micro. And then I also have these labeled out. K represents kilo, H represents hecto, D is for deca. The U represents your unit, and so the MLG above that unit could be meter, liters, or grams. Then we have deci, centi, milli, and micro. So kilo represents 1,000 times the base unit. Hecto represents 100 times the base unit. Deca is 10 times the base unit. Deci is 1/10 of the base unit. Centi is 100th of the base unit. Milli is 1,000th of the base unit. And micro, I honestly don't even know how to say that one, but there's the numerical value listed for it. So remember, you can use this as a visual way to move your decimal point around, or you might prefer to use the multiplication division method, where you are multiplying by the number, right? Usually by 1,000. So if we were going from kilo to grams, for example, you would multiply by 1,000. However, if you're going from kilo to milli, now we're multiplying by 100,000. So just keep that in mind. So let's look at a couple of examples now that we have established our visual here. So let's start, for example, and these are not off of a worksheet. They're going to be completely randomly out of my brain. So what if I had something like 4 kilograms and I wanted to know how many grams that is? Well, if I didn't readily know, we could go about this a few different ways. Remember, when we have a whole number, we actually have a decimal. It's understood to be behind that whole number. And so because I'm in the kilogram place, that means that that decimal is understood to be right here behind the K for kilo, because kilogram. And I'm moving to the main unit here, in this case is grams. So I can go over 1, 2, 3 places I need to move that decimal. So it needs to now move over here. So when I rewrite my number, I'm going to have my 4, and everywhere I have a divot, I need to add a 0. So 1, 2, 3, because I had 1, 2, 3 divots. So that is one method you could utilize for coming up with this. Again, if you prefer the multiplication division method, then for this, we would have done 4 times 1,000. Gives us the same answer. Or you could simply remember that there are 3 spaces between our main units, right? And so we were going from kilo to gram. So we literally were just moving the decimal over 3 places. So, which we did because my decimal is now understood to be here. So we moved it 1, 2, 3. So it's just a matter of which method, again, is going to work best for you. So let's look at another example. Oops. Okay, so our next example here, we're going to start on the other end of our chart. We're starting in the microgram position. I have 321 micrograms, and I'm trying to determine how many grams this would be. So once again, I have a whole number. So my decimal is understood to be right there behind the 1. And I'm currently in the MC position. So if I'm going to use, oops, I'm sorry, I forgot to erase this from the last example. My apologies. Okay, so if I'm going to use the visual looping method, if you will, then my decimal is understood to be here behind that MC, correct? And I need to get it to the grams location. So we're gonna have to move 1, 2, 3. That's at the milli spot. 4, 5, 6 to get to the grams location. And we moved to the left. So this time my decimal's not going to the right. I need to move it this way. And I need to move it that way. How many spots? I said 6. So we have 3 numbers already here. So 0.123, 3, 2, 1. And so we move that decimal 6 places to the left. The other way to do this would have been to take our 321 and divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is why Miss Jennifer does not care much for this method. Because if you're going more than 3 places, it gets a little tricky on how many zeros you need in your multiplication or your division. But again, as long as you count the right number of places for your multiplication, you're going to be good. Or in this case, division. So this is how we would do it if we were going to divide. Or you could have simply just, without doing the loops, right? There's 3 places between here and milli, and then 3 places between milli and grams. So you could have just, remembered that there were 6 places to move that decimal. Again, it's about finding the method that is most comfortable to you, whether it's easy to remember the number of places, whether you like to visually loop it out so that you can count things, or if you want to multiply or divide, completely up to you. One more example, and then we will conclude this video. Okay, so this time we have a decimal number to work with, 0.345 liters. And we are going to determine how many microliters this is. So again, this number has a decimal, so it's not sitting behind the last numeric number, if you will. So I'm currently in the liter position. Millimeters, liters, and grams. That's what our MLG is there. So that means that this decimal, although it's in front of the numbers, is currently sitting there behind the U in our visual guide there. And I'm trying to get to microliter, so I'm going to have to go to the right. And if you like the loop method, we're going to move this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? My decimal needed to get here to the micro. So 1, 2, 3 numbers. 4, 5, 6. So there's 345,000 microliters is equivalent to 0.345 liters. So again, if you prefer multiplication, this would have been 0.345 times. And again, 1, 2, 3. Right, it would have been, and again, that's why Miss Jennifer don't like this, because I have to stop and count either way. But if you don't have to, and this is working for you, great for you. It's just not my personal preference. I'm a really visual person, and so that really, really works out for me. Yes, making sure my numbers all matched up and we are correct. So I hope this has helped you out as far as the converting. I know it's a little bit muddled and there was a little bit going on here, but sometimes these videos can help you out more than the classroom because you don't have all the classmates trying to provide their input and so on and so forth. So again, I hope this has helped you out.